So this past week's been a bit introspective, I guess you could say. I've been thinking a lot about if my roadmap for the future still fits in with what I want. Like for instance, I have a lot of things that I've collected and I preserve. I feel like it's somewhat my duty to preserve some things for future generations, even if I don't particularly care about it. And I don't know, it's just like I wonder when the end point would be, or if I'm just gonna die with a bunch of stuff and it's gonna go in the dumpster. Like, I have a bunch of newspapers that were my great grandmother's from the 1960s about the Apollo missions, and you read them and it's like Apollo 8 landed. It's like it's really neat, but I don't personally need that. I feel bad for throwing it away because it's like 50 years old. And I hope that a lot of the stuff that I have can someday go into a museum whenever I no longer need it. But yeah, it's just like, what's the end point? And also about my YouTube channel. Mostly my main channel. This channel has no direction. But this channel has no direction. But my main channel, everything is linked together, even though a lot of people seem to think it's random. But honestly, I have like a 5-year amount of things roughly planned out for my main channel's projects. And the thing is, they're all cross-linked. So like, I'm working on getting a printing press. I want to work on building up a small print shop. So perhaps that could be its own little company. Or, most likely, I could just print things, like I want to print a newsletter for my Patreon viewers and stuff like that. But I feel bad for for putting all my eggs in one basket with getting money through YouTube. Like making this my own form of living. I mean, sure, I do have like 12 people that wanted to hire me. Not 12, like 6 people that wanted to hire me back before I even left Apple. But I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of job. I don't know if I could go back to that and be happy. I don't. I feel if I have a break from it, if I have time to grow up more, I could possibly go back to that and maybe like it more. I'm not sure. I changed a lot over the past like 2 years. It's actually measurable too. So whenever I used to take the Myers-Briggs personality test, I would come up as INTP. INTP. One time I took that test, about 2 years ago, I took that test 3 times. All times came up INTP. Then about 6 months later, I took the test, about a year later, I took the test again. And actually I took it twice. And it came up INTP and then INTJ. Yeah, INTJ. And then, today, a year later from then, I took the test twice, and both times it came up INFJ. So it's interesting. So there is a marked change. I might repeat myself because I'm just kind of, I don't know, I've been kind of, I guess you could say down. I haven't been like my normal like hyper self. Not really hyper, but like motivated, like super motivated. I'm motivated to think about myself for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not so motivated to continue on my path. I'm thinking about the path. I'm re-rendering it, trying to see if does the path that I set for myself still work for me, or are there any ways I can change it to make it more enjoyable? Like, I could see myself, like, I mean, I don't know where my channel is going to go. Maybe someday in the future I reach a point where I can no longer do anything in my backyard, and I move on to different projects. Like, maybe after the year, like, I could see someday in the future not wanting to run a YouTube channel, like in my 40s or something like that. I'm not sure why, but I get that sense that I would like to try something else eventually. But I mean, I get the sense that I'd like to know what I'm working towards. Because right now I have like the printing press, I have normal fabrication and rapid prototyping. That's getting expanded upon. And of course, I'm buying a press. It's broken. It was dropped about a foot. So I'm going to have to weld the cast iron and build some new parts for it, because it's only half the printing press. But still, a half printing press is better than no printing press. And so that's going to have to draw from the fabrication whenever I get my welder set up in order to get that to work. And so there's a lot of... I need to finally write all this down, because I have a list of about 170 projects. And they range from a lot of things. And I don't know where they're going. I feel that, now I'm most likely repeating myself, I feel that I've changed a lot in the past 2 years that I stayed in California and lived alone, and basically my entire life was Apple, the corporate life. And part of me feels like maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do feel like getting that very corporate job and having to fit in was almost like going to, like, I don't know, a military or something like that, or like something like that. I feel like I'm more receptive to authority, I guess, or fitting into a structured system. But I also feel that I myself now am far, far more structured in my life. Like before, this basement was all empty, and I was kind of messing in the backyard. But now I don't think I really had that much of a plan before. But now I do. I have like a plan that reaches out like 4 or even sometimes more years, and that encompasses working up to turning the attic into a living room, and building shutters for the windows in the house. It's even closer though. Turning this basement into a workshop. That's sometime next year maybe. I don't know. It's all a spaghetti of ideas in my head. And so I know I've changed. I'm thinking about how have I changed. And what goals would I like to... are there any other goals I'd like to add? Because I still want to finish all those. But I'm starting to look further and further ahead and thinking like, are there any other things I'd like to do that I should work on now? I think fixing up the house and making a really nice place to live is really good. But also getting rid of a lot of things. This past week, I've really been able to get rid of a lot of things. Nothing that I think anybody would call of any value. But I don't know. I might finally start to look for people to give some of my stuff away to. Some of the stuff I don't need. Like, for instance, I have all these reels of audio tape that I'm converting for a series I call Data Archaeology. And I don't think I'm going to really care to have those around after I make the videos with them. So, I'll most likely give them away to some audio nut or something like that. Something that I think would be cool. Just like I would think a box of random film would be cool. I also have a lot of old computer equipment. Now, I'm a huge fan of the personal computers, most of them. But I do have a few things like terminals and stuff like that. That I don't have like an IBM System 370 to run with it. So having the terminal is a bit not very useful. With an old computer, you can play video games on it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been kind of a... I don't know. You might be able to say I'm kind of a mess right now just because I'm reevaluating things, being very introspective. I'm also curious how I'll change in the future. Yeah, I haven't really come to a conclusion on all this stuff. So I don't really know for sure how to wrap up like this video or anything. It's more just a random like throwing up of consciousness, like, or throwing up of ideas. I don't know. Although I will say, over this past week, that I've been kind of like, I feel very introspective and just thinking about a lot of things and not being able to sleep really much at night and thinking, like, really going over everything. I'm really happy that I had the job out in California. I'm really happy I got to experience that. I'm really happy that I've been able to grow as a person. I'm really happy that I'm able to grow my facilities, if you call it. Like, I have a basement I can actually be in now. 2 years ago, I wasn't organized enough to actually be in this basement. I didn't even know there was a little furnace over there until I went over here and started hacking it apart. I don't know. I also feel like I'd hate to throw that to waste. I could see myself, like, I could see my YouTube channel, being a way for me to practice my skills also. Because I need a lot of practice in a lot of fields. I don't know what for, but there's a lot of progress that I still need to make, like with welding and organization and, yeah, managing things. And I could see this still helping me a lot, especially with that push that the past like year and a half or 2 years of experience has given me. It really helped to have a experience with managing a lab, because I learned a shit ton from that, and I didn't really realize I was learning it. I was just adapting as we went along. And like the lab grew and grew, and we got more things, and things got more expensive, and worked on bigger and bigger projects. And it's like, I come back to this, and I'm a very different person. I have more of an understanding of what I want to do. But I feel like I'm still running on some of the same goal, or I'm still running towards some of the same directions, not really goals, that I had before. So I don't know, like, whenever I think of, like, if I slowly keep increasing my projects to where I have, let's imagine someday in the future, I have a printing company and I'm printing things for big, who knows, like people order online, I print it. Well, I don't know if I'd be happy from that. I don't know if I'd find that fulfilling, but it'd be interesting. What if I went into making tools? I don't see that lasting a long time. Even if it was successful, I could see myself only wanting to do it, or only getting like personal satisfaction from it over like maybe 10 years at the most. Because I'm wanting to like try to make my own tools, although it's hard to figure out what exactly I can add to the world. Although I think my 100-watt flashlights I've been building for myself, if I can work on that design more, that might be a useful, something that would be worth buying. I don't know. And then my YouTube videos, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wonder if at a certain point I won't be able to really, I guess after a certain point it wouldn't have to, it couldn't be the main things I do, because I don't think I would want to be keep doing for the rest of my life videos of cleaning wrenches and cleaning up the backyard and building furnaces and stuff like that. Because I of like the 30 or so project trees that I have, because they get bigger and bigger, I keep one-upping things and making things better. And where's that going to go? And if it does go anywhere that needs the help of anybody else, like, imagine if something takes off, like, oh, I start casting metal and making parts. Well, then I start casting a lot of parts, so I have to get an employee to help me. It's like, if everything, like, extends a lot, but then if everything doesn't extend, I know I'll definitely not be happy, because, like, it would just be me still stuck in my backyard. There's just a general sense of, I want to change. I want to keep changing as a person, but I don't know how to change. Like, I guess one thing I have to be very similar, along the same note, would be, for the longest time I've been thinking about, I would like to change my hairstyle. Go shorter. A lot shorter, maybe. But I don't exactly know exactly what I want to do. I'd like to maybe change my clothing style. But again, I don't really know exactly what I want to do. I haven't found the answer. Well, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get out of myself today. Probably just a couple more days of thinking about this and I might figure some more stuff out. I think if I keep on going from this, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been on my mind. I haven't been depressed. I've just been introspective and a little bit down. Not really down. Glum? I don't know. Just not able to think of other things. Because, like, right now in my head, this is my project. This is the project I'm tackling. And it's kind of hard to work on other projects that would require a lot of effort. So a lot of the projects currently are most likely just going to be simple things that don't require that much thinking, because I'm already wasting all my thinking. Or not wasting. I'm already expending all my thinking energy, my cycles, as you will, on introspective stuff and thinking about, like, bringing my future into focus. Because the thing is, of course, my future, the further out you get, the blurrier and blurrier it gets. because you can never plan things too much. But as we move forward, we can't let it stay the same blurriness while it comes forward. You have to keep focusing it. So you have, so otherwise you run into the wall of what you didn't prepare afterwards for. So that might be a bit of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.